So, good morning. And as we start this morning, I want to acknowledge the magic that is there in our life. And to acknowledge the magic that is there in our life, I'm going to be reading excerpts from a very interesting book written by Dr. Gary Douglas and Dane Heer. And the book is called Magic. So I thought let's build the next sessions out of that book. Even though a lot of what we've been talking about would have covered it in some way or the other. But here's another way of looking at it. And I'm sure that we will all benefit from it. So we'll have these half hour every morning, and those who are late, too bad for them. Okay. So we have some funny ideas about what magic is. And that's not what we are talking about. We are not talking about magic tricks. We are not talking about controlling the weather or natural events. Okay. So it's not about all those things that we associate with metaphysical systems where you teach people to knock people down and hypnotize them. None of that stuff. Okay. They're very interesting. They don't have anything to do with consciousness. Okay. As you know, one of the main things that we are trying to do out of the empowering morning conversations is to allow us to have a life of ease, joy, and glory, and to work on the mental, physical, emotional, and energetic part of our life, and to help us to raise our consciousness, or in other words, to raise our spiritual quotient. So, the magic which we normally talk about has nothing to do with consciousness. Let that be very clear in the beginning. So, the true magic, according to Dane and Gary, is the ability to receive everything. Yeah, so remember we did a session on being a receiver instead of a taker. The true magic in life is what? To have the ability to receive everything. And this wonderful, amazing universe is a very abundant place and willing to give everything that we desire. Are we willing to take it? That's the question. Okay. So to continue further on this, magic is not about using force and effort. So if you remember, we have done sessions on power versus force. And all that was inspired by a book by Dr. David Hawkins called Power versus Force. Now, here we are talking about magic is not about using force and effort. So, magic is not about using force and effort, as a way of happening things, making things happen in our life. Definitely not. As a matter of fact, the more you try to control things, the more you get to push them away. So when you want a magical life to happen to you, you learn to let go of all form, structure, and control and everything. And instead of that, follow the energy. See, the energy actually takes you. And you will experience more happiness, more joy, and everything. See, animals follow the energy. And it's documented. There was a very big volcano eruption in a place. And the scientists saw about a week back, or maybe 10 days before that event, that all the turtles started going away from that place. They knew. Yeah, they were following the energy. Similarly, they say when the tsunami happened in Thailand many years ago, I think it was in 2004, the elephants started moving away to higher ground. So the animals are willing to receive and able to receive the energetic information that is available. We are not. Why? Because we've got something called logic. We've got something called judgment and conclusions and decisions. I was speaking to some IT people about this, right, wrong, good, bad, agree, disagree. This, yeah, so binary way of thinking. I like that. So we are trying to fit everything into our binary way of thinking. And anything that doesn't fit into that binary way of thinking, we are going to exclude that. So to reiterate, magic is about receiving. So have you noticed that when you have to control your life to make things happen, how much energy does that require of you? So on the one hand, we find that there are people who effortlessly produce results in their life. And there are others who put in so much effort. I still remember when I was in school in Chennai back in 1968 or something like that. We used to be studying 10 days before the exam, walking up and down, reading, studying, mugging, everything. And then what was the result at the end of it? Anything between 65% and 75%, right? And there was this one guy in our class, his name was P.J. Dilip Kumar. He was never showing that he's paying attention in the class. He would sit at the last row of the class. We never saw him studying. And he never got less than 90% marks in any subject. In fact, he was getting 100% marks in maths, but the teacher said, I don't believe in giving 100% marks because you will think that you don't need to improve. So he gave him 97% marks. So why is it that some people with relative ease and effortlessly are able to produce results and the others are struggling? So I'd say that these guys who are living life effortlessly is people who are having a magical life. And if you do wish to have a magical life, I would say let us start to believe that you and I, as infinite beings, have the capacity to receive infinitely. And when you have the capacity to receive infinitely, magic will truly show up in your life. So are you guys interested in magic showing up in your life? So then let us start the process of magic showing up in your life. Okay? So close your eyes for a few moments and receive an energetic gift from me. And that energetic gift is the energies of the symphony of possibilities. So as I'm talking to you, I shall be giving you and gifting you those energies as well. And I want you to start with the intention, with the desire, with the command to yourself that I'm open and I'm willing to receive. Yeah. I have the intention and the openness and the willingness to receive. So, be in that state. I will continue to talk. I will continue to give you data. And not only that, I shall be giving you, or I shall be manipulating your energies so that the magic starts to show up in your life. So, one of the things that we do, and that is a mistake, is that we are insensitive to what we are already receiving. So, even when magic happens in your life, we discount it and we say, no, no, that was a coincidence. It just happened. I was lucky that day. So, when we don't acknowledge it, when I've seen this often, that even in my healing sessions, that we can see. I was in Coimbatore some time back to do a bars class, and the day before I'd reached, so somebody came to meet me, one of our Rotary friends, a very old gentleman, and he had heard about bars. So he came and took a session. Now, the guy, when he walked in, he could barely walk. So there was an assistant with him holding him up, and very old gentleman, right? Very shaky. He took a 1 hour session from me. And then when he got up, he walked to the bathroom, drank a glass of water, came and sat down. And then I asked him, what happened? He said, nothing. I'm feeling the same. So the people who were with him, they told him, you should have seen how you were walking before and how you're walking now. Now, here is a case where people are not able to realize or acknowledge what they are receiving. So they don't acknowledge the magic of their life. And when they don't do that, they stop believing in it. So when we stop believing in it, what do? We go back to our logical self. So we go back to our usual reference points. For example, one of our reference points is when magic happens, there should be a clap of energy. Some smoke is coming out from somewhere. Some dharam kind of music is happening or something. We're looking for special. We are not able to see the magic in the ordinary. So when we have this little bits of magic showing up in our life, being able to acknowledge that and appreciate that and celebrate that. So even as you are sitting and receiving silently right now, one is the words that I'm speaking. The other is the energy that I am gifting to you. And to be able to acknowledge both these things. And as you are receiving, I'd like to do a little clearing statement with you. So, what have I made so vital, so valuable, so real about my judgments, about my decisions, about my conclusions, and my calculations that will never allow me to have a life of infinite possibilities, a life of infinite receiving. And everything that is times a godzillion that prevents that from happening in your life, are you willing to drop it and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all hundreds. Creations, voice, and beyond. Places and beyond. So you will notice how our computations kick in. Yeah? Our strategizing kicks in. So even as you might be listening to whatever I'm saying, immediately the brain goes into, oh, how can I use this to make more business? How can I use it to conduct my next class? So the moment you get into that world of strategizing, you're not allowing the awareness to guide you. You are now getting into the trap of letting your logic and your binary thinking to control you. Control you to control the universe. And why would you want to control something which is you? So, one of the things you will begin to realize as you give up your binary way of thinking, the moment you realize you get out of your judgments, you're right, you're wrong, the good and the bad, and the agree and I don't agree, and this is good, this is bad, and how can I use it, and what is the new formula for my life, and all that, what will happen is you will start to experience the oneness of the universe. There will be no more I and you. There will be no we versus them. Know that the infinite oneness that we truly have and are, that's our natural state, by the way. The infinite oneness that we truly have and we are, and we were experiencing our life like that when we were children, very small children. The infinite oneness that we truly have and are is the source of everything that we would consider as magic. It's the source. So if you're truly willing to be the oneness, to have the oneness, to create it, to generate it, and to function in it, then magical things will start to show up in your life. You are then one with the awareness of whatever it takes to create what you are looking for. See, we talk about shifting from the survival mode to the creation mode. Hmm? So those who don't understand creation, you'll say, oh, if I have to create something in my life, I'll have to do a lot of hard work. And then use force and effort to make things happen. Have you ever experienced? I have experienced. Have you experienced that you just thought about something and it happened? And of course, you would say, oh, that was, coincidence. Or usual stuff like, you want to create something in your life. Yeah, I'll create. So what do you create? An Audi or a, Maruti 800? I say, no, but Audi requires a lot of hard work and it's costly to drive. So what do? We put conditions in our creation. Now, in Access, we say you want a magical life. And when you are in oneness, ask, hey, universe, what are the infinite possibilities of a car showing up for me? In the state of oneness, magic is when you can ask the universe, when you come out of your binary step by step linear construct into oneness, and then you'll say, instead of saying, I'll have to save up for the next 25 years to get this, you'll say, hey, universe, could I have it? And the universe says, here you are. So being in the oneness. So being in that state of oneness, you can dare to ask for whatever it is that you desire. Or like a question. See, for example, you want to do something and you've been struggling with your logic about, will my people agree to have the money or not? Where will I get the money? Is it worth the investment or not? Blah, 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 blah. You can make a simple choice. Like I choose it. What will it take for me to make this choice? Even people who they have their teams or who have their employees and they are trying to get them to produce results. What if your binary thinking is getting transferred to them? What if your judgments are being picked up by them? Remember, we are connected with 250,000 people at any point of time. We are picking up their stuff. So I've seen this happen very often that the boss is getting influenced by the juniors. And the juniors are getting influenced by a couple of negative people who told them something and they started believing it. And they made everybody else believe it. And the boss also believed it. So if there's a possibility of something great showing up, it does not happen. In my corporate life, I've heard many often, people coming in telling me, sir, ये नहीं हो सकता. क्यों नहीं हो सकता? So I am the guy who always asks, no, why it can't be done? They'll say, sir, everybody is saying it can't be done. And that's the point when you buy their nonsense. I would ask them, okay, who's this everyone? Can you tell me? So when he feels comfortable, at some point he'll say, no, sir, so and so fellow was telling me. So what happened was in that company there, I was doing the sales over there, heading it. So there was one dealer who was the biggest dealer who had a lot to gain by manipulating the market. He would plant it in the guy who was visiting him, one of my guys. Sir, ये आइटम तो कभी बिकता ही नहीं है, मार्केट बहुत डाउन है. ऐसे it was the opposite of that. And then he would become महान by saying, sir, मैं उठा लूंगा मगर मुझे extra discount दे दीजिए. And very subtly. I mean, even a very sharp and street smart sales guy is not picking up what games people are playing. So we live in our judgments, our decisions, our conclusions, our computations, and a desire to control everything in life. Because letting go is like dying, you know. If you've been on a roller coaster or something like that, if you try to be in control, you won't enjoy that ride, believe me. And it becomes very frightening. Your whole body becomes tense. But if you let go, oh boy, it is quite a blissful experience. Now, what is not allowing us to let go? You know that? Absolutely, you do, right? Fear. There may be 200 people with you, right? All of them screaming. People scream with pleasure, also, by the way. And people scream with fear, also, by the way. What are we picking? The moment we get fear, we have a desire to control so that whatever we are afraid of does not happen. So, where's the letting go part? Guys, here's a question I want to ask all of you. We've had this fantastic desire to control everything, isn't it? We've had this great desire that I must make sure nothing goes wrong and 100% what I desire should happen by using all our logic and everything. How successful have we been? How much guarantee is there that your thinking will make sure nothing goes wrong in your life? Despite all our formulas and all, many of us have experienced that. Everything's going fine. One fine day, they say, no, 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 actually, no, there is no requirement of yours. We made mistake by. Did you ever thought that'll happen? I mean, you spend all your months and years over there trying to do your best and make everybody happy and please them and say yes, yes to all stupid demands that they made, right? Did it guarantee you a result? So what's on the other side? It's called letting go. See, to receive, you have to let go also, by the way. You are not going to receive if you don't let go. So I'm going to stop here at 7:30 in the morning. Anybody has a desire to share anything with us?
Feeling of
Yes.
bliss.
Ready, Garu?
Sir, good morning. Good morning, sir. What I felt was oneness is accepting everything from the universe with
Being in
awareness.
allowance, being in
Yeah,
allowance.
being in allowance. That's what
Yes.
I understood.
Then only you will experience oneness.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Babuji, बताइए.
So it was a feeling of bliss, and like though I was receiving also, listening also, and but like I felt the moment I stopped judgment, and I was in a mode of receiving. So like generally when I do meditation and all, so it become very easier for me, and I had a lot of energy, and at last peace and bliss. I'm right now in a feeling of bliss. Thank you.
Great. Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I had gone to a very powerful place, and as I was standing there, pray, no, what you will pray for? So I said, I pray for good health, fit body, clean mind, happiness, wealth, prosperity. And then some voice from inside said, okay, is that all you want to ask? And immediately I said, I desire that each and every person who comes in touch with me in my life, even for a brief moment, should receive all these things: health, happiness, fit body, prosperity, and wealth, and everything that their heart desires. You guys have a wonderful day. I bless you. I pray that you are blessed by God to have everything that you desire and have a magical life. So we started that journey today and we shall continue. Okay. And for the benefit of those who missed, we shall be posting the recording on YouTube as well. So thank you very much. Please watch and share and